All right, everybody. So I am very happy to have you inside of today's live stream. We're going to be doing some interesting things today. I tell you, there was something that was just on my mind today, and it's because I had this really awesome workshop today. And from that workshop, I decided to come home and take what I call a cash nap. Now, not everybody knows what a cash nap is, but what I try to do is when I'm taking a nap, I try to give my naps a purpose, right? Because I mean, entrepreneurs, we feel like anything that's not doing the thing that is generating revenue for us as a waste of time. But that's a part of our self-care. We got to pull it down sometimes, right? And today's workshop was earlier today was really, really on fire. So what I did was I came home and I says, listening to the room, and it was full. Everybody was there, and listening to the room, I would really like to come up with something. Now, this is what I said to myself before I literally started doing the cash nap. Is I said, I would like to come up with a couple of ideas that can help people put a couple of extra, $1,000 in their pockets, right? And that's what it really came down to. It's like, what can I do to help people put a couple of bucks in their pocket? Now, these ideas that I'm going to be sharing with you are maybe something that you haven't thought of before. And let me put my disclaimer out there. What I'm saying is not typical, implied, guaranteed, or even promised. But what it does is gives you an opportunity to see how you can do that thing, right? And we're going to just be using one of the promises I wanted to make to myself and to everybody out there is we're just going to use one source, right? Now, this is going to be a series. I'm going to be doing a lot of these so that we have a chance to, talk about a lot of ways to put a couple of extra bucks in our pockets. All right. So let me share with you. Now, I got my notes here. I'm going to be doing a little, here it is, right? I don't want to go off track, but at the same time, I didn't want to have like PowerPoints and all that stuff, right? We don't need all that. So here it is. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a minute, and then I'm going to go over it and I'm going to show you, I'm going to literally walk you through. Let me see. I might have some people coming in, everybody. So I got to keep a track of if anybody's coming in to the stream itself. I'm looking on YouTube too. So, all right, I should be able to see some things that's going on over here too. So just bear with me a little bit here, everybody. All right, let me see if I can go ahead and view. Some people might have decided to just go into the live room itself. So let's see. All right. Okay. All right, good. All right, so here it is. I'm going to be sharing my screen here in a second, and then I'm going to show you how I went about taking just one traffic source. Now, when I talk about traffic source, I'm talking about a place where people are. And I'm going to walk you through how I went in, and this was last week, went in and literally said that I was going to find out where people are and see if I can help them with some of the stuff that they're already doing. This is the cool part, right? Can you help people with what they're already wanting to do? Now, you've got different businesses, you got different things, but I wanted you to be able to take some of these ideas that you might hear today and then some of the strategies and then apply them to your own business. That's the key part. Okay. All right, everybody ready? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into this one traffic source that is, oh my gosh, it's a treasure trove of opportunity. And if people are sleeping on LinkedIn, you need to wake up immediately. And I'm getting ready to show you right now. So I'm going to be using a couple of apps, and this is, I think, will also help you understand that you don't have to go in there and heavy lift this thing yourself. All right. So let me go over here. I'm going to share my screen real quick, go into LinkedIn and show you a couple of things. This is where it's going to be fun. All right. So take a look at this. So hopefully everybody can see this okay. So here's what we're going to be doing. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this app right here. It's called Clio, Clio.so. Now, in Clio.so, what it does is it will tell me all the posts that are getting, a lot of rankings. Posts like, look at this, 326 comments, 242 reposts. And then what it's also showing is how many people may have come into looking at this particular post. Why people are sleeping on this? Again, I do not know, but we need to do something because LinkedIn is on fire. So when we go into here, this is what we're going to be doing. We're first going to see where people are. That's one of the key things, right? Why start something? Why take an idea, start it up, and you don't know if anybody even wants it? But what we do know is, because in this case, this is Gary Vee, he's talking about a very particular thing. You can literally see what he did here. He says, hey, look, don't get me wrong. Ideas and thoughts are nice. They're great. And then he goes into what he's actually saying about that. Ideas are nothing. Execution is everything. And that's why I wanted to call today action and income, because here's the big deal. If we apply the action, we give ourselves a chance to make the income. Now, we're going to do some public math here. So, my math genius is out there. I don't want no smoke. You're saying that math isn't right. Well, I'm going to do the best I can. All right. So watch this. This is what we're doing. What we're doing is going into this particular app. This is something that is free, and you can put it on. Well, they got a paid tier, but whatever. Right. But here I'm using the free version, and I'm just going in and I'm looking for what is trending. Now, this is where the tip is. What is trending then allows us to see what we might want to make content on. But I'm going to take I'm going to flip the script a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can take what is trending from an author inside of here, and then we're going to do something that can help us make some money for ourselves. Watch this. Okay, so we look at this. This right here has got 4,000, 41 people saw it, 103 comments, 604 reposts. So that's the big deal, right? When you start thinking of reposts. Okay, I think I'm hearing somebody coming into the stream, y'all. So I'm gonna let some guests in. So let me go ahead and let her in. And okay, here we go. We got some guests coming into the live stream right now. So I'm gonna jump back into what I was doing here. Okay. So now here is the big deal, everybody. What we have ourselves a chance to do. Hey, let me view this tab again. Hold on. There it is. All right. So what we have a chance to do is look at what's in here and what's going popular, because we start asking ourselves, if something is going very popular, then maybe whoever wrote it might want to do other things. And this is where the opportunity is going to exist for us. Or when you see something popular, you may go, hey, I can create content around that, or I can create products around that, or your service might be about that. So this is what we're doing, that Clio app. And we're going in here and we're just looking for what's popping, right? And I'm going to show you something that I did off of what was really, really popular inside of here and what I ended up creating from it. All right, so here's the one that I ended up choosing. But if you notice here, this one's got 260 comments, 120 reposts. That's telling you an important thing, that people are getting down with this. This is mattering to people. All right, here's the one I really like. This one right here by Dora Van Orek. All right. And she says, culture isn't what you promised on career pages. It's what your people feel on Sunday evening. And now that made me think. But the big idea is that we're just going to look and see what she says here. See how many people are commenting on it. Look at that. 411 comments. Now, this is an outlier, everybody. Why? Because look at this. 1,978 people came in. 400 commented, 131 reposted. So that's telling us a story. Now, how we then can make our money from LinkedIn, this is one tip. I want y'all to write this down. One tip is we make our money because we may put something on LinkedIn and we're going to have links in there that lead back to stuff that we own, stuff that we want to do, stuff that we want to sell, things that we want to represent. Okay. All right. So that's the first one. Now look at Gary. This is March 23rd, 9 a.m. He's also posting something here. He says, quiet listening to people who don't want you to win or quit. I'm sorry. Quit listening. That's for real. We know family sometimes, friends sometimes, competitors. Well, of course, that's their job. But sometimes they don't want us to win. Why? Because it says something about them. Now, let's get to what we're going to do with this. 215 comments, 77 reposts. So you're seeing here, I'm hearing a little, I'm hearing somebody talking. So I hear y'all over there. All right, so here it is. Look at this. We're going to keep going. We're looking for things that we can talk about. We're looking for things that we can take the information and recreate it. And then maybe we're looking for an opportunity to send a message to that author and say, hey, listen, I got some skills. Would you like to trade those skills? I'll show you that here in a second. So that's the key thing. We're using this app to go in and find trending topics. It's really, really cool. Look at this. We go in here, we say, okay, all right, great, you're great. Before finding the gym, I was a master screw up. So here's somebody. I also would love for you to look at this and see what is making them trend. That's one of the cool things, right? 94 comments, 48 reposts. All right, so we got it right here. Alex Hermosi, we got 255 comments, 16 reposts. That's not a lot of reposts for that many comments. So that's what allows us to go. But look at this one right here. Adam Grant said March 22nd, 10:30 a.m. He says, great leaders don't obsess about being liked. They care about being respected. And then he goes into more information. So watch this. He says, you bend over backward to accommodate others. Respect is deep regard. It's earned by being principled. You stand up for your values. Okay, now why I think that's important is because look at this. People are saying, oh my gosh, they're going nuts. They're reposting it like crazy. 11,000 people checked it out. All of that kind of stuff, right? Now we look at that and we ask ourselves a question. Who is Adam Grant? Does he already have other things going on? And then what I'm going to be showing you here in a few seconds is how we're going to take one of these posts. We're going to create stuff from it. And then we're literally going to go out there and ask the person, would you like to work with me? Literally, that's what we're going to do. All right, so check this out. I want to make sure that I am, okay, great. I'm on the right sharing link. So watch this. So I went back up here. I loved what Gary says, but Gary's got a lot of followers. But this person right here, culture isn't what you promised on your career pages. For the amount of people that came in, she has all of these comments and reposts. So here's what I did next is I went and I grabbed the URL, everybody, right? So I'm giving you a tip now. So you should be writing this down. This is how you can do what I'm suggesting and showing you, recreate what I'm showing you, and then do exactly what I'm telling you to do so that you can go out there and position yourself. Now, again, like I said, nothing's typical, implied, guaranteed, or even promised. We don't know if, somebody's going to respond to you, but at least gives us a chance. And I'll break that down for you here in a little bit, right? We got about 20 or 30 minutes, and I'm going to go over it. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like. Now, this right here, we're going to grab the URL. Now, the URL is going to be really, really long. And so we got to kind of do a couple of things to get it to where we can share this on one of the apps I'm getting ready to show you here in a second. And on this app, what we're going to do is take this long post and we're going to condense it into an image. Now get this. This is a pretty decent sized post. It's not terrible or anything, but look at this. This is, it goes pretty good, right? Got all these bullet points and all that kind of stuff. Now you say, well, look, this is her stuff. I'm not going to take her stuff. Whatever, right? And that's what we're not going to do. But what we're going to do is we're going to leverage it. We're going to be inspired by it. We're going to create something, and then we're going to send out a message to her and say, hey, I love your post, and I created this for you. Do you want it? And I'm going to show you how the math works when we start doing that at a higher level. Watch this. Okay, so I'm going to go over to another app. Give me a few seconds because this software has to, recognize it. Okay, here it is. Share this one instead. Let's see if this is it. Okay, great. So hopefully I'm on, I think I'm on the right one. So now look, this is what I did. This is going to be called the Gamma app. I will leave you some information if you want to use it for yourself. Leave you some information. But look, this is what I created for him. I'm going to pop it open real quick. All right, now this is what I created. Now remember, over on LinkedIn, it was like this big old long whatever she was talking about. But what this app allows us to do is now create something really, really tiny like this, right? So that looks like somebody that's sad. They don't want to probably be doing whatever it is they're supposed to be doing. Sunday, they don't want to get to work the next day. And like she said, listen, culture is how people feel on Sunday. In other words, before they have to go back to work. That's the key part. You know how you would go home and you're like, oh man, I can't wait for Friday, but it's Sunday now. Ah, this stinks. So, anyway, this is what I'm going to show you now how we can take something like this, use this app to then go out there and create from what they wrote, and then ask them if they would like us to do more of that, and then ask them to pay us. All right, so here it is. So you see what it did? It condensed it down. Now I could have did a whole bunch of other things. This app is very, very powerful, but I want to stay on track and make sure that you see the point here. All right, I think I got somebody else coming in, y'all. So let me let them in. Okay. Okay. It looks like she bounced out. All right, and then she's coming back. All right, so let me go back over to this. Here we go. So in this particular case, we created just this little snippet. Now, here's the wonderful thing is that we can do a couple of things with this. First, we're going to go ahead and take a snip of this. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and download it. It'll download this image of what she said. Real culture is how people feel on Sunday night. They condensed it down. And then what we're going to do is we're literally going to send her an email, send her the image and say, hey, listen, I really, really, really liked your post. And I was able to condense it down into a soundbite with an image. Now you can use this. This is you talking to them, right? This is your sales pitch. You can use this image on LinkedIn to kind of repurpose your content. Now keep in mind that a lot of people that are putting out these articles on LinkedIn, they're busy. They got stuff to do. So you come in and you're making an offer to condense it, but you're not just coming in trying to hang your shingle up and says, I would like to work for you. You're showing them what the work that you would do. And this is the power